going into the mouth, setting, but she holds the universe in order. She has the equilibrium. She's the equilibrium. She's the order of the universe. Even holds the sun up in the sky. That's her divine responsibility. Let me keep it moving. You see again, new. The sun, this is at the temple, I think this is in the Valley of the Kings. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of the Ramesses' tomb. And you see that the sun is setting, going in the mouth, traveling 12 hours through the body of his mother to be born the next day. Let me come out of this. See the womb of Nut, see the pyramid, you see the sun. So this, when they show you this pyramid and they show you the sun at the top, that's symbolic of the birth of the sun coming through the womb of Nut. The greatest monument ever built for the Black woman was the pyramid. That's your greatness, sister. Dr. Ben taught it to me. Remember who taught it to you, because I ain't heard no motherfucker drop this one. This is some originality from the god Sarah. Y'all watch me now. I'm a cold motherfucker. Watch me. Watch me. You're going to hear shit that you ain't never heard before. And it's factual and actual. Okay, and you see how we're connected to the sun. Brothers know that they the sun. They the sons of the sun, which they call the Sarah, because it show you, nigga, in the morning, if you're right and your melanin is tight, nigga, when you wake up in the morning, man, that's supposed to be one of the greatest times of the day. You should be fully charged, baby. And you should be on, at a great extent. This is resurrection. What is resurrection? Is re-erection. Who gonna bring that resurrection? The African woman. I hope ain't nothing else making it come up like that. Only the sun and the African woman. When you see the African woman, make it come up, baby. That's re-erection. So she's the one that's going. That's why Set was the one that's prayed for Osiris and called the gods to help him in his, in his plight, because he had been murdered. He was a divine king, and the gods and goddesses came to Osiris' aid and gave Set the prayers and the spells to speak, and she chanted them spells. She chanted them the prayers, and a phallus appeared, a spiritual phallus appeared, and he was able to pass his seed on to Set. And this is the first immaculate conception ever on the planet Earth. Okay? See? At the womb is actually a pyramid. We're talking about the Pentecost. The Pentecost of the Christians, where after Jesus had died and the Holy Ghost came and descended upon the disciples and Mary and gave them the ability to do miracles. It's called Pentecost. Okay? Pentecost. You see right here, the Egyptian Pentecost, where the sun is hitting, and you see right here where the rays is hitting the disciples and Mary, and you see all through African iconography, you will see that the sun is hitting right here, Nefertiti, at the forehead. And then you see the aunts, going into her mouth and into her nostrils, giving her life, showing you that the atmosphere and the sun is God. And this is what gives you life. This is what gives you life as an African. You see again, Pentecost, where the sun rays is coming down and giving the disciples and Mary divine powers to be able to bless and to heal. See, this is stolen right from ancient African, ancient Egyptian spirituality. Let me come out of here. You see right here, again, Heru. This is Nefertari, feeding the young king. See, he's the young king still leaning on his mama. And this young boy look like he about 15. So this is symbolic that he's still feeding from the great mother, Heru. Okay? Again, showing you the divine connection between mother and child. See? It's out of order when she's not divinely looking after us and taking care of us. This is what keeps us in balance and keeps us protected. She's our guardian angel. You see Amun Ra, right here, the king of the gods, giving reverence to Heru. Where have you ever seen this at? This is a very powerful pick right here. And I believe this is at Dendera. This is at the temple of Dendera, where the king of the gods is actually lower, giving praise to the great goddess Heru. That's very powerful. Showing you again the great goddess, giving life to the king. So this is what our goddess has got to do for us. You know, when we give you this power, and we ain't giving you anything, we reintroducing you to many of our sisters back into their divine knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? But it is for you to give life unto the black man and into your son, so that they will be great kings and honor you. See, you got to teach them young boys how to honor you and be kings. Okay, we got to reverse the roles. We can't be soft. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not the order of things. Okay, he must be a protector. He must be a defender. So you can't be soft with him, because that ain't in his nature, no way. You know what I'm saying? That's not in his nature, no way, to do that. You see right here, the traditions of the cow and the bull is all over Africa. So this is in West Africa. So you see the spirituality of Africa is universal. This is Ishtar, where you get Easter from, seeing that they have stolen the concepts of the great cow goddess and started many of the Mesopotamian Asian deities, and Easter, which comes from Ishtar, and is actually the worship of Heru. Okay? Was actually so you need to put that Easter shit down. All that false shit, them eggs, and well, bunny rabbits lay an egg, and you don't understand that Passover is in the Bible was the murdering of all the firstborn children of ancient Egypt, and the Jews put lamb blood over the doorway so that the angel of death would pass over them and go to those that did not have the lamb blood. Their firstborn was murdered by the angel of death. And so you heard the cry all over Egypt, where the mothers and fathers was crying, because and y'all go and practice the shit and don't even understand that they talking about murdering you. You don't understand that. Wait a minute, what time is it? Yeah, we just getting started, baby. We just getting, again, we looking at the funerary temple of Hatshepsut, the great queen of the 18th dynasty, considered one of the greatest queen empresses of all the world history. I think almost Nefertari is the greatest. She's the greatest empress goddess of all time. She is the most talked about empress of ancient Egypt. And when you go into the Bible, and when they talk about the Jews worship the golden calf, this is who they talking about. They're talking about Heru. And when Moses went up on the mountain, he stayed up there too long. The people got confused. They say, Aaron, make us a god. And he took all the gold and silver and he melted it together and he made the golden calf. This is the Semitic attack on the black woman as God, the Holy Mother. And that's when they destroyed that and brought in the Judaism, the Islam, the Christianity. This was the destruction of the black woman as God. Let me keep it moving. The golden calf had a root. Let me keep it moving. You see right here, Tut, King Tut, Tutankhamun. You see him in his divinity. Okay, he's past, but what is he? He's drinking from the udder of Heru. Okay, this is the calf goddess, the great mother. He's drinking from the udder of Heru. Okay, even in his divinity, he have to kneel and bow to the great mother. But then when you go to the white man, you see where we drink from the udder of a cow, a peaceful, harmonious, vegetarian animal. You come over here to the white man and he's sucking from a predator, a carnivorous, bloodthirsty predator, the wolf, the she-wolf. And so now you done given up the holy milk, divine milk of the black woman to come over here and suck on the beast. You're sucking on the white man titty, and you see all the life has been drawn up out of the African. So you've been drawn up out of the African because you got to go back to the holy mother. All you niggas out there, you know, playing games, talking, you come to the black community and you sit out there and put all these weak ass lectures out there and you take the black woman money because she go out there and support you. Then niggas start taking pictures with crackers and shit, this, that, and the third. You see, that's where the nigga at right now. He's done shriveled. His mind is gone. He's malnourished, spiritually malnourished, mentally malnourished, physically malnourished. See, the white man is the true son of a bitch because his mother is the wolf, the she-wolf. Let me talk about it. You see, even in the creation of Nu, you see the sun going up in the mouth, and as he's being born, who's he shining down on? He's shining down on the great mother. Okay, you go into Mary, and you see her with the moon, which is symbolic of the cow. Okay, you see that's Heru. This is Mary. You see the sun disk behind her head. You see the sun disk right here, and you see the cow horns is symbolically being represented as the moon. When you're talking about the samurai, we're going into Japan now, okay? Look at this. You see, they may have used the deer horns, but this is acting with the sun in the middle. This is Heru. This showing you that Kemet and Ethiopia and Egypt went all over the world. This is the world's first order. And Egypt and Ethiopia was rulers of the planet, and that science is from Africa to the furthest extent of Asia into Australia, even in the Americas on both sides, from east and west. Africans came from the east, coming from Australia, coming from Asia, and they came from the west, from West Africa, even came from the Mediterranean, coming out of Egypt, coming through the Mediterranean, coming across the Atlantic Ocean. So we came to the Americas from both sides. That's why you had the megalithic structures at Machu Picchu in Peru, in Argentina, you know what I'm saying, on both sides. You see how people came to these areas. See the sun, you see the cow horns, you come to the samurai, you see the horns, and you see the sun disk right there. We rocking today, baby. We rocking today. Let me move out of this. We coming to the Venuses, the oldest statues of fertility of a deity on the planet. And these Venuses was found all over Europe. These is the Grimaldi. These are the little Twa women, which you call pygmies. You see the woolly hair, and you see that the breast is elongated and the stomach is full because she's pregnant. This is a fertility doll. White people can't even have babies. They don't need, they out of here. This is African people, okay, that created these dolls, and they go back 29,000, 2,500 BCE. This one was found in Czechoslovakia. And this is a map showing all the places where these African Venuses have been found, from not only in Europe, all the way to China. See, so our people dominated all of these areas long before the European people ever came into these lands. See, you see these little African dolls with so these is what you call the Twa. See, this is in the Andaman Islands. See, this ain't in Africa, this is in the Andaman Islands. And this is past India. This is in the Bay of Bengal. This is over here by Cambodia and Malaysia. See, so this is further than India. So this proves beyond all doubt that India, all from China to Japan, was originally populated by African people. So when I brought the Naga the nigga, I don't know how many of these sciences that I brought to y'all and are developing right now. Okay, these niggas can't bring you this kind of knowledge. Look at this. See, you see the pregnant African woman, swollen in the belly, breast elongated, woolly hair. This is who this is. 20, 30,000, 25,000 years BC, our African people were already in Europe and in Asia. You see the slant in her eye too. You see the slant in her eye too. The Khoisan people, okay? They the ones that went in and somehow there was some mixture and some engineering that caused the lighter ones to show up. But you know, a lot of that ain't us either. There's a lot of raping went on. Okay, them motherfuckers came up out of them mountains as they were, and many of them raped, and that's how that came to be. You see what I'm saying? But we'll deal with that later. You see what I'm saying? Showing you the buttocks. See? Ain't no woman on the planet, God, you can't even get, nigga, you can't even get surgery to get one of them. Flat out. And you see right there the afro that's on the head. This is a Venus. This go back 20,000 B. This was found on the French-Italian border to show you that the Africans was already in Europe. Let me move. This one was found in China. So they were found all the way to the extents of China. Now look at this. This Venus, 20,000 years, where was this one found at? This one was found in France. And look at the hairstyle. It's the same hairstyle of the ancient Egyptians. This is Nefertari. So this is at, look, 30 to 15,000 BCE. So that show you that Egypt is far older than what they want to tell you, because they had already went up into Europe at 30 to 15,000 BC with these hairstyles. Look at that. Look at that. And you can see the face, the puffy face. I'm going to show you. Look at it. It's the same panoptic jaw of the Sphinx. It's the same panoptic jaw of the Sphinx. That's an African right there. Now, we looking at the earliest graves of African people. They could tell African people because we had a matriarchal system. We believed in the great mother. And so we were placed down in our graves in the fetal position as we came out of our mothers. We was going just like the sun went back up in Newt. We was going back up into the great mother. So we were buried in the fetal position. That's why I'm telling you about mental prints, fingerprints, mental prints. See? So we knew we were going back. So we were buried in fetal position. Europeans burn they dead. They didn't even have graves. If you watch any of them Greek, Roman movies, what they do, they have a pyre and they put the body up there and they set fire to it. That's how they got rid of their dead, or they didn't even bury him at all. Motherfucker dropped, they let the motherfucker be where he was at. That's why in Europe they had what you call Black Death, which was really white death. Ain't no black people died. It was all white people. I wish that shit happened again very soon, but it's really white death. But they call it Black Death, and that's because them motherfuckers up there living so nasty, rats and no refrigeration, no type of, no cleanliness. They living with the rats, the dead and shit, not burying the dead. And so out of all of that nastiness caused the Black Death. You know what I'm saying? Damn, they wiped out one half of Europe. Damn, why they didn't take the rest? Damn, Black Death, you was the closest. Shit, that's the closest to God we ever had looking out for us. Need to come back with some more Black Death. If that Black Death did that, we need to have some more Black Deaths. All right. This is the tomb of Narmer, okay, the first king of Egypt. You can see that even, you couldn't get a grave like this today. That man had royal gold and all types of exquisite jewelry, pottery, furniture. Now, these are the first tombs of Egypt. And when what killed them is that they went up the river into Nubia and found the same level of tombs even in Nubia, showing that they knew that the early kings of Egypt came up out of Sudan, Nubia. All right, when the white boy found, and they didn't find one, they found many. They found royal cemeteries. And he said when he went down in the tomb, he knew he was dealing with royalty because they had exquisite gold, diamonds, all type of precious jewels, furniture made out of exquisite wood and gold. And he knew he was dealing with royalty. He was dealing with an advanced people. This was before Egypt. So we know where Egypt come from. Egypt come up out of Sudan, which comes up out of Ethiopia, which comes up out of Uganda, Rwanda, and the Holy Great Lakes region of Central East Africa. We came from the beginnings of the Nile, where God happy dwell at the foothills of the mountains of the moon. Let's keep it moving. And Narmer was also buried in the fetal position. Where we at? Oh, keep it moving. Keep it moving. So you see, when the Europeans started making these dresses with what they call the bustle, okay, which they put some wire in the back to get a white woman an ass. See, they was imitating you. They've been imitating you all along. And so they didn't convince you out of the black woman out of her divinity to immolate somebody that's immolating her. You see what I'm saying? You are the highest standard of beauty and fashion. We have to take that back because that's one of the great industries that we can, obtain much wealth from because we are the standards of fashion. Them crackers out there skinny as hell trying to be models. They anorexic, damn near weigh 70 pounds, dying on the damn runway. And so our sisters think that they have to be anorexic to be beautiful. Don't no black man want to see that shit. And you don't want to see it neither because you're dying trying to be that which you not. Wake up, sister. Here we go. See the Brussels? See that? The dress with the wire in the ass trying to immolate that which you already have. Okay, we're going into fashion. Fashion and beauty of ancient Egypt. So you see much of what they're using today in beauty and colors and even jewelry. This is imitation of that which you had in ancient Africa, ancient Egypt. See, and how beautiful it looks on you today. The very colors and how, certain colors show up on the African skin. That gold, when it's on the dark skin, it's on the black skin, it just glows. You understand? White people can't get that kind of glow. So these colors all signify, and I'm going to get into that at a different time because I ain't got enough time to do it, symbolizing what the colors mean. The blue representing the sky and a cosmic origin, a cosmic spirituality. The yellow representing a fertility. You see what I'm saying? Just like the dandelion or the tulip, you understand, a certain cosmic fertility. And let me move on. You see here the blue. See how it looks so, how powerful it looks on the black skin. See, you can't get it to look like that on the white skin. You cannot do it. That gold and the gold on the lips. See, and so you see the yellow here. This is actually an African woman, a dark-skinned woman, just like I showed you earlier where the sister had painted her face red. Her eyebrows ain't blue. But you see here, the blue, this is cosmic origin, cosmic power. You see what I'm saying? Divine power from the cosmos. And so all the colors of ancient Egypt symbolize something. Yellow is fertility. See, it's fertility. Here, you see in West Africa, the gold, and they even got gold dust on their face. This is coming up out of, I think, King Tut's tomb. The sun and the gold and all the different colors. Blue again on the Kepa rock. We'll get into that. You see? So we showing you that the black goddess was the highest standard of beauty, fashion. You see what I'm saying? Makeup and all this. We've been doing this a very long, but the thing is, this is natural. We're going to get into what they use to create the makeup. See what I'm saying? Coming from the earth. A lot of that shit, y'all, you made from the pig and animal fat and shit and all of that shit. You see what I'm saying? A whole different origins of how you creating the colors. You got paint in Egypt that been lasted for damn 5,000 years. And you can put some goddamn paint from these crackers up on the goddamn wall, and you have to paint every 2 fucking years. See what I'm saying? It's a difference in where you create these colors from and what you use. You know, it's the stones, it's the minerals of the earth that they use to create different flowers, and you know, and the spirituality in the flowers. You understand what I'm saying? That they use to create the paints and the makeups, and you know, and so I do a lecture just on that alone, because we moving through at this time. We looking at the Empress T right here, and we seeing, you know, the afro, which is the halo. You understand the afro, which many African empresses were actually, queens were actually empresses, but they didn't want to equate a woman, especially a black woman, with that much power. See, you see a wig coming out of ancient Egypt. This is in the Cairo Museum, showing that our sisters wore wigs, they wore extensions, they wore all of that. They just wasn't wearing no goddamn, no Indian hair, they wasn't wearing no cracker hair, they wasn't wearing nobody else's hair. You understand what I'm saying? If you're gonna wear some hair, wear some African hair, because your life is in your hair. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that you do go into your hair. You understand? If you having a bad day, it'll reflect in your damn hair. Your hair would be limp and shit. It won't stand up right. But when you're having a good day, your hair stands strong. So it shows the life force in your body, and everything is recorded in your hair, what you put in your body, your mood, everything. So if you take somebody else's fucking hair and put it on your goddamn head, that shit leak down into your goddamn being, fool. I got to wake y'all niggas up today. That's why, goddamn it, when they go taking tests, they take your hair, they can tell whether you've been doing certain kind of shit 6, 7, 8 months back. That shit is one of the strongest tests to show what's in your blood. So you go put a goddamn Indian hair on your fucking head, and then you wonder why you wake up hollering in the middle of the night because some crazy ass Indian is chasing your ass through Mumbai, India, trying to stab you with a damn knife, because you done picked up they goddamn memories and they goddamn dreams and they nightmares and they blood and whatever the fuck they ate and put in their body. Now that shit leaking in your hair. You better wake up. You better wake up. See the yellow. So yellow also gold represent the sun. You see the extensions. You see the weave, micro braids. You can see right that in ancient Egypt. So I don't knock the sisters for wearing extensions and weaves. I just knock them when they put other people's hair on their head. You see what I'm saying? Look here. See the dreads and the two locks, and you see right here. This is the mother of Empress T, Queen T, right here. You see Rihanna. You see this type of style that she got on her head, and you can see right here in ancient Egypt that so many of these styles that y'all sisters is wearing is Egyptian styles. So can't nobody knock you. This is very beautiful. But we're trying to take back this industry because we the standard. It's like we make the best music and we don't get paid shit. You lead in fashion, black woman, and all of that. But where is the major industries from that? We don't have no major industry in music. We don't have no major industry in fashion. And you know what I'm saying? And beauty. Even though we the leaders in these areas, we supposed to have these industries. And this is what can help turn around our culture, because these are industries that we should dominate. And if we don't dominate things in which we the highest standard of, we are going to forever remain slaves. Because you cannot talk about turning around the black economy without, again, reclaiming these industries into our stronghold. That's bullshit. Niggas want to talk about all this garbage, but don't want to talk about industries that we should be dominated in, because we the highest standards in that industry. Look at this. See how the sisters, all of these hairstyles that y'all wearing is ancient Egyptian. Look at the crown. See the crown of ancient Egypt? This is Upper Egypt. And you'll see right here, what does it say? The crown of ancient Egypt are symbolically the crowns of the queen mother placed on the head of the king to give him authority. Did you hear that? The crowns of ancient Egypt are symbolically the crowns of the queen mother placed on the head of the king to give him authority. That's all powerful. So you see right here that just like you could tell when somebody put on, a certain kind of hat. If the Rastas, they got dreads, they had them, them like, it's like, I forget what they call it, but they put their dreads up in it. You know what I'm saying? So your crown is going to reflect your hairstyle. You see what I'm saying? This man ain't got a low haircut like me and gonna put all that damn hat on his head. He got hair up under there. You understand what I'm saying? Like this. You understand? And so that crown is fitting on top of that hairstyle. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we know that these kings of Egypt came from the south, because we can still see it today. Look at the crown of Nefertari and the crown. This is Akhenaten. You can see how thick the man's lips is. You can see that he's African. You see the crowns of West Africa, South Africa. You can see these are the same crowns of ancient Egypt. Now look at this. What they call these the Bantu knots. See, this is the hairstyle of Buddha. This is the hairstyle of Buddha. So showing you the mother of all religion. You the mother of all deities. You see what I'm saying? That you are also an explorer and a conqueror and a founder of many African Asiatic nations, as well as African nations. See? So you're not just, you're the mother queen of the planet, but Africa is your home and your throne. And you went out and you colonized and you brought civilization to all land masses. You was the first great mother of all land masses and cultures. Okay? So let me get up out of this one. Because this one going, you see right here, the pics. See what I'm saying? That was in, and you see right here the afros and show you that this is curly hair because they put the circle in the hair to let you know. But look at today. Look at today. We putting that shit on our face, trying to peel our melanin out. See, we don't see ourselves as divine anymore. We are, we don't look at this as being beautiful anymore. And because the cracker then went in our mind and raped our mind and gave us the serious sickness is called crackatosis. Where everything that's white is right and everything that's white is divine in your mind. You look at, and then when you have crackatosis, then you come up with another very serious disease, which is niggeritis, which is the hate of blackness, because you have to have niggeritis to justify your crackatosis. You have to hate black to justify the worship of white. Okay, so when you have crackatosis, you have niggeritis, and when you have niggeritis, you have crackatosis, and you got both of them. Most of the time, you got kundaria. You get out there smiling and beguiling, you're scooting and pooting in front of the damn TV, smiling and cheesing, making it seem that it's a beautiful thing to be oppressed by the white man. So they got what you call the coon shot. And that's when they show all their teeth. They always smiling on TV, smiling and shit. And that's because they got 12 inches of you know what up in their motherfucking ass. And they bite down like, and that's when they show you the coon shot. That's kundaria. So the BPC got the only known cures on the planet for crackatosis, a guaranteed cure for crackatosis, niggeritis, kundaria, and all the other diseases that niggas got on the earth. Many of you niggas are comment niggas. That's a disease. That's where when you go in everybody else shit and go in the comments and be a nigga and talk shit, and you know, like somebody tried to come on my shit today and talk some shit about the young G, the young God, Pharaoh. I went off on that nigga. Like, nigga, we put up a picture of us having a beautiful time, and this nigga brung his hating ass on there, and the nigga only got 2 friends, and bitch, it wasn't me. And so you niggas is disgruntled because you see the divinity in the young God, and you're hating on him instead of joining with him and trying to take this shit back. You got niggeritis, crackatosis, and kundaria, but I got a guaranteed cure for your ass because If this knowledge won't do it, goddamn it, I tell you what, this motherfucking gun blast will put you out your misery. That's the guaranteed cure. It's a guaranteed cure, nigga. Blow your shit off, nigga, and put you out your misery. All right, look at this. Look at this. See how they braid? See the braids of the young goddesses? Now today we go into, and they jumped on this is the Korean stuff. Get all the fake hair up there. Look at that, even got red and green. Yeah, we put colors in our head, but that's clown shit up there. You got up there clowning. They make sure they make the black dials, and because they specifically making it for you. And got all this fat pork and shit and all that in this goddamn hair products and shit. We need natural product because our hair is the antenna to our divinity. You understand what I'm saying? And you're blocking your divinity. You're blocking your connection to the cosmos by putting all this gook and shit on your goddamn hair. You know, we got to stop that, including myself. You understand what I'm saying? I don't take myself out the equation because I know we all fall short of the glory of the Lord, as they say. And so it ain't no room to be chastising nobody without chastising yourself, because we all need to develop, okay? But I know that I'm fighting. I know that I'm switching up on a whole lot of shit. And I see the power in cutting back on this white man, God. I see it. I'm much clearer. I'm popping. I'm more energetic. I'm more focused. I'm coming up with greater creations as I'm a greater thinker. I'm focused more longer and stronger. And that comes from cutting back off all that poison that you put in your body and on your body. Look at this white one. Look at this. Where we at? We're about to be at 4 o'clock. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 4:30, and then we're gonna go into the let me bring it back. We're gonna go into the young goddess, workshop, and we're gonna talk to the young goddesses out here. You know, I'm getting back into my rites of passage, which I started from, and even this is a part of that, because they need to see this too. This is a part of that workshop. You understand what I'm saying? That they know this at an early age, so they can get a jump on it and not make the mistakes that many of our older sisters did made because they didn't know. I don't want to knock, but you didn't know. But well, okay, then let's stop that. Let's stop that, and let's get a younger generation to know the truth at an earlier age, so they can, go another route that's gonna bring some benefit at an earlier age for the community, so we don't have to be in this predicament 10 years from now, 5 years from now. We can cut that shit down right now by teaching the youth a greater way, a more positive way, a more fruitful way on how to achieve greatness than to continuing to being a modern day slave like majority of our people are doing right now today. Let's keep it moving. Look at this. This is the great Empress Nefertari. You see this sister right here, still doing her thing. This is industry. This is showing you this is industry. You even seeing the sisters on the walls braiding the same way. You see the pin up there? You see right there? You see the pin right there in her head? You can see even the way that she's braiding is the same exact way. You see the same hairstyle, present day Nubian queen. This is Empress T, Queen T, rocking the same hairstyle. Been doing this for a mighty long time. All right, let me come out of this. Almost Nefertari. I'm moving. The matriarch of the 18th dynasty. This is the black god. 18th dynasty started according to the white man, and we're disputing all of this. You know, we know that Egypt is far older than what they want to tell it, because it would destroy their religions, it would destroy their history. And so they're trying to keep our history in the framework of white history. You understand what I'm saying? But if you give African history its proper chronology, we are at least 1 million years old on the planet, at minimum. Yeah, and we can prove it through documentation that we're 1 million years old. So you're seeing Almost Nefertari is the matriarch of the most powerful dynasty of ancient Egypt. And they always show the goddess black, cold black. You see what I'm saying? And these are all the great kings that came and rulers that came up under her lineage. Almost the first was her husband. They were the liberating empress and emperor of the 18th dynasty. Her son was Amenhotep the first. You got Tutmosis the first. Tutmosis the second. Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut is the great granddaughter of this black empress right here. Okay? And Ramesses the second wife was Nefertari the second. So if she named herself Nefertari the second, that lets you know she knew she came from Africa and she was a Nubian queen anyway. Nefertari the second was the daughter of the king of Nubia. And Ramesses the second made Ramesses the second, when he deconstructed Abu Simbel, it is facing Nubia in honor of the Nubian king and queen Nefertari. Okay? So you're looking right here, also Amenhotep II, the great master of the craft, who reconstructed the temple at Luxor. If you go to the temple of Luxor, Amenhotep II is the great architect. He was the one who saved the craft of Amun-Ra because the Grand Lodge was in deterioration. And so he's the one, you see them great columns there, and you see that great temple of Luxor. Amenhotep is the great king who built that. Then you got Akhenaten, who is the son of Amenhotep III. You got Tutankhamun. All of these are from this great black queen right here. She gave birth to them. She gave birth to that whole lineage. You see, and they always depict her as cold black. This is Nefertari the second, the wife of Ramesses II. But that would have been red. You got all these Europeans that are now going down in the tomb, repainting shit, trying to change the reality. See, so this is again Nefertari, the first, our most Nefertari, the great man. She's the great house. She's the holy mother that gave birth to all these icons of black Madonnas. And you see right there, Mut, the vulture goddess. You see, this is what almost Nefertari looks like today in ancient Nubia. This is a Nubian. You see that dark melanin? This is almost Nefertari, the Nubian. Again, this is almost showing a cold black. And this is the most talked about individual in all of ancient Egypt. Do y'all understand that? She is written about more times than any one figure in ancient Egyptian history. Almost Nefertari. Let me keep it moving. And you see in the Bible, see where the daughter of Pharaoh supposedly got this white baby about the damn Nile, white in Egypt. That goddamn baby have boils and be red as a goddamn firecracker over in Egypt. But you see the hairdress? See almost Nefertari? See the hairdress? Got the goddess Mut. Now look at this demon. See how they stealing your culture? See how white and pale that shit don't have no reflection on her. But you go back to them sisters when they had them colors looking all glorious and looking most beautiful, and it's just radiating off of their skin. And that white just sucked the power out. Ain't no energy, ain't no nothing. Ain't no energy, ain't no nothing. Look at that. And they want to try to say this is what never, and got a white woman with some braids in her head, trying to steal your culture. Let me come out of this. You also can go into what they call the Viking so-called religion, and they call them the Valkyrie. Okay, this is nothing but a copy of the great goddess almost Nefertari, who brought in this particular hairdress of a crown of the goddess Mut. She the one brought that in. So you see all of the linen she got on. She got the finest linen on. She's a fashion icon of the ancient world. And these crackers and shit got this garbage on their back. They ain't even got clothes on their goddamn back. And they stealing from you, and it's watered down You are the highest standard of beauty, goddess. You are a goddess. You are an empress. You commanded nations. You can't go up another man's ladder and call that success. That's no success. Success is your own ladder. You the ladder. You the you the order. You the throne. You the temple. All of the great monuments of ancient Africa were built in honor of you. That's greatness. That's how you judge your greatness. And your children honored you and venerated you. And your son was your warrior king that you put up on the throne to enforce your laws and your order. The land is your land. It's the motherland. You see what I'm saying? When you're talking about Sekhmet, which I might not be able to get in, being the lioness, the land belongs to the lionesses. The king, the lions come from the outside. Either they conquer the king lion that's already there, but the land, when you go back to Africa, they did the research. Many of them lionesses been in that same area in which they reside for 800 years. That DNA been in that same, so that's their land. The kings come from the outside and fight, and whoever wins, he becomes the king. But that's not his land, it's the mother's land. That's why she's the throne. You see what I'm saying? We have to go deeper into this knowledge. Come on, let's move through here. So you're looking at Mut, God is Mut. When you go to Luxor, you will see that down from the great temple of Amen, Karnak, used to be the great temple to the goddess Mut. And you see her holy lake here, and inside this great temple because it's a temple complex. You had a temple of Ramesses II, and you had a temple of Amenhotep III. And then you even had a temple right here of Kamutep. Okay, so this was a presiding walkway that led all the way down to the temple of Luxor, and it had what you call sphinxes, a row of sphinxes. Now, you had one from the temple of Karnak too, a presiding processional walkway. And you talking about this processional walkway is almost 1.5 miles. So imagine seeing all them sphinxes for 1.5 miles on both sides, and you got two roads, one coming from the temple complex of Mut, and the other one coming from the temple complex of Luxor, the temple complex of Amen, Karnak, which they call Karnak. You can look it up. And it's a little further down from Mut, okay? But both of them have ceremonial processional walkways leading to the temple of Luxor. And this was the largest university temple complex ever created on the planet Earth. Ever. This is divine teachings right here. And this is what it looked like today. Much of it been destroyed. Much of it been destroyed by the invaders. So see, this is the temple complex of Amen. This is the temple complex of Mut. Okay? Now, let me see. See how they got the processional walkway right here leading from Karnak to Mut's temple complex. But both of them had processional walkways that led from both going down to the temple of Luxor, connecting them. So this was a whole university complex in the ancient world. Empress T, married to Amenhotep III, the master of the craft, who brought the craft. You can see two beautiful Africans, okay? And Queen T was the first empress queen that was shown equal with her king in size. You see, this is at the Museum of Cairo, right there, equal for the first. He loved her so because she was fine. T was fine. Almost Nefertari was fine. These was fine sisters. And she was a commoner. She wasn't even a royal blood. So you know she was fine. You know he had to have her and built lakes and great temples for her. You see? And look at this. This is a statue of Empress T. Somebody, you could tell how beautiful the lips is, right? And so I was looking one day and I saw this picture of this sister. And I didn't know what I say, something registered in my spirit. I say, damn, I've seen this before. And then I came back to this statue where it was only the lips, but we know this is Queen T. And what I did is I superimposed the top of this sister's head onto the statue, and look what it looked like. It fit exactly. Look at it. It fits exactly. Look at the line. Look at the line. It fits exactly. Showing you that this is what the sister resembled in the ancient world. You see what I'm saying? And this is her son. You know what I'm saying? You see these African lips. Queen T lived the Empress T 1386 to 1349. Akhenaten Amenhotep IV 1350 to 1334. Where we at? Keep it moving. The PT.2 of the Congo. You see the elongated head. And then you also talking about, you know, the Watusi. But this is the daughter of Akhenaten. This is the granddaughter of T. This is the granddaughter of T. Let me come back. So you can see the West African, I mean, even East African, not East, but you also see it in the Congo too. Okay, you see the elongated head. This is Tutankhamun. Okay, so that whole bloodline, you understand, possibly came out of the Manjbitu Watusi tribes. See the elongated head? This is Watusi. You see, they put them rings on their head to make them elongated. This shows we proven this is Nefertiti, even though she was from the outside. She was not indigenous to Africa. She was from Mauritania, but it still proves that even on the outside of Africa today, where you call Israel and all Arabia, that those were African people. They don't show you this one. You see that hairstyle? This is Nefertiti. She looked just like Akhenaten. See her? And they say they only worship Aten. But you see, she got the headdress of Amen on her head. So they didn't just worship no damn Aten. They stretched that damn story. So you see today, African, this is Akhenaten. Akhenaten is the daughter of Akhenaten who married King Tut. See her lips, see her skin. That's an African woman, no doubt about it. That's her husband, Tut, King Tut, Akhenaten. Both have the elongated head. Hatshepsut, the greatest woman ruler in the history of humanity, and her deity was a black woman. See how you see in the top of the temple, you see the stars? That's new. So the temple is also the body of the African woman. So the pyramid, the temple, the throne, we looking at that. The Holy of Holies inside of the temple is the inner sanctuary of the African woman's womb. Now, Hatshepsut was the only queen that took the position of Pharaoh. Okay? That was unnecessary for her to do that. It don't take from her accomplishment, because her accomplishments were great. Her accomplishments was more than most African kings. But, you know, because she did flip the balance to a certain extent by taking on the masculine role of Pharaoh instead of ruling as a queen, she caught some flack for that. She caught some flack for that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, you know, we don't want to say cross-dressing, but I mean, because what happens is when people ask the question, and because, you know, even having to ask that question, you know, that takes something from that. And so she's still a lesson. Don't take from the fact that she conquered many nations. She put women in positions that they had never been in Egyptian history. She had African women scientists and mathematicians, architects. She had that. And she put Black women in more positions of high authority than any other time in African history. That's what makes her possibly the greatest African woman ruler of all time. Okay? We cannot negate that. I still give that to her great grandmother, almost Nefertari, but either or, you still dealing with the same genetic bloodline, and that just show you that them goddesses, them empresses of the 18th dynasty, man, whoo, the things that they did, that's why they hide the truth of them empresses and them goddesses of that 18th dynasty, because no white man ever obtained that kind of power, ever. You see what I'm saying? So they try to trivialize her greatness. All right, let me keep it moving. This is Nefertari II. This is the temple built to Nefertari II by her husband. So we showing you that the black man loved his black woman. He did great and magnificent things in veneration of his woman, built great megalithic structures to his goddess, his woman, and his mother. He did that, and he knew who his God was. And when the black woman was his God, he was his strongest he ever been on the planet. When he was in his greatest eras, his woman was his God. Jesus Allah, now nigga, Jesus Allah. In Hebrew, the nigga is a slave. He crying. He on his knees. He can't step up and fight any longer because somehow it didn't broke his spirit to be a warrior king. See, but when he was of his ancient days and his woman was and his mother was his God, he was in his greatest power that he ever had on the planet Earth. So that should let you know something, nigga. That should let you know you got to go back to the basics. You got to go back to the basics and understand that you will never be greater than your mother, that you are the enforcer of the laws of the great mother. And when you do that, my black brother, you will again ascend the throne as the greatest king, God, emperor on the planet. Until you do that, you will always be on your knees as a slave. So you better get right. Let me keep it moving. I'm keeping it moving because I'm about to shut it down at 4:30. I'm gonna shut it down. See how fast I gotta go? This is a class, great goddess. I can't keep, and I ain't even got a tenth up into the science. This showing you the Valley of the Queen. You showing you this is the tomb of Nefertari II. So you got to understand they digging down in the mountain. See? And you talking about they got 76 of these tombs in the Valley of the Queens and over 80 in the Valley of the Kings. 70 something in the Valley of the Kings, 70 something in the Valley of the Queens. And all of these tombs are carved down inside of the mountain in levels. See the stairs here? You coming down and it ain't no telling how many. It's about at least 100, 200, I ain't gonna say about 200 stairs that lead down here, which leads to one level, and then you got to go down more to get to another level. And it's another level even after this. Some of these tombs in the Valley of the Kings and Queens, some of them got 5 levels down into the mountain with all of the prayers and all of the book of the coming forth by day and night, which they call the book of the dead, is all painted inside of these temples, giving the spirit a blueprint to reach heaven, to reach a mentor. Everything that you would need to say to the deities so that you could be blessed with entrance into each gate, because it's each gate. There's many gates that you must, enter. And when you get to that gate, you will be asked a question and you must have the right answer. So the answer was written on the wall so that the spirit would have a blueprint, and it shows you right there, Mayat, Neptus, Isis, Nefertari. These are all the great deities. Nia, right there, all the great deities and goddesses that, you know, were special in her worship. Okay? So Mayat, Neptus, Nephet, Aset, and Nefertari herself, and she's giving praise to these great goddesses. Okay? And we're going to have to go back because there's some spiritual knowledge and symbolism in all of these great goddesses and gods. You see the backbone of Osiris, which is nothing but a power of what you call, I forget the name of that. Where you look on when you're going up and down the highway, you see, you know, them great power poles where the electricity is coming up out of. This is what that is. This is where they get that from. How do you think they lit all of this up to put that painting on the wall? The Africans were already using solar power in the ancient world. Okay? They were, but they don't want to tell you that. They're using it today, but this is how they lit up the inside of many of those pyramids and them tombs. They were already using solar power, okay? Which is the greatest power on the planet. Let me keep it moving. Right here, you see Aset as the Naga. You see Aset as the serpent, as the Naga. You see the cow horns on the serpent head with the, what is she doing? She's protecting Osiris, the great mother. You see what I'm saying? The original guardian angel. And then you come into Buddhism. And Buddha is the Asian Osiris. And you see what? The Nagas that's protecting him. Okay? Sekhmet, the lioness, the sisterhood, showing the sisterhood, how the sisters look after the children together, how they hunt together and fight together and look out for one another. Sekhmet is also symbolic of the holy sisterhood. And you see the sun disk, and you see right here, as we create hairdresses that symbolically represent the sun. You see, like the great goddess Sekhmet. And you see here, the black woman is God because she could produce all colors in the spectrum. This is the only white man we ever produced. No white man come from our blood. The African albino is our white man. We don't have no Caucasian in our blood. And quit saying all people come from African women, because an African woman never produced a Caucasian through her womb. Okay? Until she, even, in her downfall and her rape. But naturally, the only white man that a African woman can produce is an African albino, which shows that white come out of black, but black cannot come out of white. You see? Can't go vice versa. And I don't even know, an African albino might got melanin in their blood. They might be able to produce an African child, but that's only because their mother was African. That's the only way that could happen. I have to check the facts on that. But I know, it can't be vice versa outside of that. It can't be vice versa outside. Ain't no goddamn cracker ever produce no black person. Ever. Never. And never will. So you can get up out of that. And you can see right here that they got the same mother and father. You see what I'm saying? Showing you that inside of her womb is the seed for black and white. For black, and she's the mother of all creation. African creation. African creation. Okay? You see right here where the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the stars of the Immaculate Mary was taken from our set. And the womb, and you see here Jesus coming out of the womb as the son, like Ra coming out of the womb of Nu. This is all you, goddess. They done stripped it down and gave you a synthetic version, and you go hooping and hollering, crying to them. And in actuality, they worship you. So when you see, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me go back. You see that? When the sun rises up in the morning, you got to understand that these are the legs of the African woman. And this is the sun being born through her womb. And just like when the legs split and you see the child coming through the womb, these are the pylons. These is the pylon. That's why you see the sun right there above the doorway. This is the womb. And you go deep down in the Holy of Holies. This is where the conception takes place. Inside of the womb, the temple is the body of the African woman. Move on. So I'm going to end with this. My goddess, my empress, the question becomes, why would you worship him when he worships you? Hear me? Let's go back. Why would you worship him when he worships you? You got to take the charge today, goddess, my black empress. You got to take the charge. We got to reconfigure the mind. We got to reconfigure the DNA. You must become a social engineer. You must become a genetic engineer. You must reestablish the laws of the house. You must place the house back in order. You must add equilibrium. You must add the balance. You must become the great guardian of the family again. You must guide the young men to be the next enforcers of the house. We must raise kings and gods today, and they must be prepared to die and take the battlefield to make this a reality. It may not be today, but it most definitely will be tomorrow. I want to thank you for coming out. I appreciate you. I love you so. I hope that you got some out of the lesson today. I really put my heart and soul into this lecture. I love you, and I'm with you all the way. And I know that your rise and your greatness will be very soon. Thank you. And Black Power.